Is there something else that goes along with this object that we don't have with us?
In Katie Blomquist's 4th grade class, today's social studies lesson is about Virginia's native peoples. Her class is deeply focused on trying to figure out the identity and use of these Native American artifacts.
Object-based learning is a great way to keep kids engaged, and it connects them back to the past in a way that if we just talked about the Virginia Indians, they wouldn't feel that same connection as when they're holding the bowl or they're holding the arrowhead and they're talking with each other.
Working in groups, students must collaborate and communicate to infer meaning from the objects. They record what they see, discuss what they think, and wonder what else could be missing from the object that could help them determine its identity. Using a little creativity and a lot of critical thinking skills, students then draw their own conclusions about the identity and purpose of the object.
Our object was like an arrowhead, and it was used for like shooting.
Get that group of roller coaster. If we're holding an object, our first response is, what is this that I'm holding? And I really want to encourage that questioning in my students, because then they'll approach the whole world that way. So what I'm trying to do with my kids is keep them from that tendency to go for the right answer and shut down. I want them to question and then question more deeply and dig even deeper than that.
The higher order thinking skills used in elementary school prepare students for the academic road ahead as they learn to use documents to support their thinking.
Cite the text that supports your answer.
To find the text that supports your answer is key to document-based questions, or DBQs.
The idea is that there's an analytical question, and students analyze documents to answer the question. For example of this is, should the United States drill for oil in Alaska's wilderness?
We have to assume there's a reason that the refuge doesn't extend that far.
They have to analyze the documents, and they have to synthesize a response to the question, so it's very high-level thinking.
It's a very controversial subject, and we're looking at documents that are for and against, and some that are just pure facts to try to determine what we should, our opinions on this issue.
I like this kind of activity way more than teachers lecturing, because it's way more hands-on, and we can actually, instead of just listening to him, the students can add their own ideas and viewpoints about different topics.
Documents offer different perspectives on issues. Some teachers help students sift through the conflicting documents by asking them to sort papers in buckets. This helps students discover how documents become evidence, and it's the evidence that can champion or debunk a point of view.
Document-based questions allows a student to become a historian, take multiple sources, kind of make sense of those based on their experience, tie it in a conclusion to what's happening to today.
At the high school level, students in Tim Hudenberg's AP History class are gaining valuable practice forming comprehensive essay responses to questions using document-based primary sources from the Progressive era as supporting evidence.
The document-based question allows my students to become more excited, like myself, about history, about learning new material, about kind of getting into the nuts and bolts of real knowledge.
Along the way, the DBQ process enhances student reading comprehension, analysis of facts and opinions, as well as the ability to convey a logical point of view in the form of nonfiction writing.
You say 12 years. I'd like to know where that figure comes from.
Throw in public speaking skills, current events, and a history lesson or two, and the DBQ can be the foundation for a lesson which connects the world of school to the world at large.
What happens after the food we're providing?
We're trying to prepare kids to be global thinkers in the world and to view the world from a multitude of perspectives. And so the increased rigor in the testing helps us in the classroom, because now we can't just shove information down throats and hope that it comes up the right way. Now we have to teach them how to think for themselves.
Copper,